to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV. We are here at the Bermondsey Boxing Club. Big media workout today for a very big man taking a very big fight next Saturday week. Daniel Dubois, first of all, Dev, how much did those punches look like they hurt Don Charles today?
Mate, I'm not sure Don Charles will make it over to Poland. I can see him now, like the hands look in bad shape. But I'll tell you what, Daniel Dubois looks in great shape, doesn't he? Doesn't he? I saw abs. Yeah, did you see him? I saw abs. You don't normally see them on Daniel Dubois. He's been up at altitude, up in the Spanish mountains, locked away. And it looks like he's come back as a completely different bloke. It looks like he's come back as the kind of bloke that's about to become the unified world heavyweight champion.
Have you spoke to Daniel Dubois today? Have you interviewed him yet?
Yeah, I had a little chat with Daniel, and he's so chilled. He's so relaxed, and he's so different to.
There's a different Daniel Dubois. He seems a bit more fired up.
He's fired up, isn't he? And also, look, I've known him since the start of his career, and I remember trying to interview him, and like, he wouldn't say much. He wouldn't say much. You know that yourself as well. He certainly wouldn't be smiling or relaxed like that. But seeing him like this is a 25-year-old young man. He is in the prime of his physical condition. He's fighting a 36-year-old who's a lot smaller than him. He's got things going for him. Let's see.
All right, we'll move on because the propaganda machine is flowing right now.
Come on. Look, he's got to do it, mate. Look, he's got a little old man in front of him. That's how Daniel Dubois has got to look at this. He's got a little old man who's going to try and move about. Of course he is. Look, and he might be successful in moving about. And while Daniel Dubois is fearlessly jumping in, Daniel Dubois might get chinned himself. It's boxing. But he's going to give himself the best possible chance. He is not afraid to pull the trigger. If Usyk's leg wobbles, if something happens, if he goes back like that, Daniel Dubois will jump all over him. All over him. We'll have a new world champion.
Wow. Is that scripted? Is that scripted, mate? Or is that all off the cuff?
Just thought of it last night.
Well, Daniel isn't the only one we're here to see today. Another staple of the Queensberry stable, Hamza Shiraz, who is also out in Poland next week against an unbeaten Ukrainian. Another one going into the Lion's Den, but a test that he should overcome and hopefully move on to some big domestic title fights, maybe with Denzel Bentley in the latter stages of this year going into next.
This is a proper fight, by the way. If he wins this against Dmitro McCann, I believe his name is.
You're a braver man than me attempting that name.
You stopped it, didn't you? Look, if he wins this, I think it's the best win of his career. This guy that he's fighting has been to the Olympics. He's a European bronze medalist. He is backed by K2. He's promoted by Alex Krasik. He's managed by Igor Klimas. Hamza Shiraz has got it all to do. He's going into the Lion's Den against someone from around that way who has all that backing. Shiraz is going to get booed on the way to the ring. Properly booed. But I'll tell you what, he loves it. The one time that he's had a taste of being like the away fighter, he went to the Midlands and he fought a guy from the Midlands and he knocked him out and he relished it. He relished that the crowd were against him. I think we're going to see the same again. And by the way, he's turning into a real force. This is a 17-0 middleweight who just whacks very, very hard. He's on a streak of like 10, 11 knockouts in a row. You've got a proper fighter there.
Will we see that Denzel Bentley fight, though, if he does come for it?
I sort of hope so and don't hope so as well, because I get on really well with both of them. So that will probably be, for me personally, like the hardest fight to work on, because I like them both. It's like, how'd you do that? It'll be the first time, I think, in my career where... And Dubois Joyce was another one as well.
Be careful, because you'll get two fighters say it now.
I know, but like with Hamza and Denzel, we'll like WhatsApp and stuff like that. I'll get on well with both of them. I do think we will see the fight though. I really do. Frank seems to be making good noises about it. So, what a fight that would be.
Look, we've seen with the likes of Aziz and Buatsi, you don't have to hate each other to get in the ring with each other. It's just proving who's best, and hopefully it's one of those trade fights that we're really going to see who is the number one British middleweight.
But that's the thing. I want it to be more than a trade fight. It needs, and I'd like them to beef a little bit. I thought Aziz and Buatsi, they are mates, you know, and they are, of course they are, and they're both really, really top guys who aren't going to fake anything. I want to see a little bit of beef between Denzel and Hamza. I want it, when the fight gets made, I want it to get the eyeballs and attention that it deserves. They're both putting an awful lot on the line.
Just on Buatsi and Aziz, should the winner be fighting Anthony Yarde?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Buatsi's been offered the Anthony Yarde fight before. He was offered that as part of like coming over to now TNT. But look, he's gone his route, and his route currently involves Dan Aziz. I'd love to see Anthony Yarde in with the winner for sure. It'd be a great fight. It'd be a great fight. I don't know who I fancy to win the fight either. Obviously Yarde beats them both, but the Buatsi Aziz fight, I really don't know, because Dan's got momentum, crazy momentum, and he's European champion as well, isn't he? He's got a British and European title, isn't he?
Yeah, but I don't think it's for that. It's the final eliminator for the WBA.
Okay. But look, he's on an amazing run of form, and he's not looked bad for ages. So it'll be a tough one for Buatsi.
Moving on to the previous Saturday, Anthony Joshua. It's very rare I go on Twitter, Dev, but I do occasionally have to have a look on your feed to see what antics is going on. But for anyone who doesn't read your Twitter, just what did you make of Anthony Joshua's performance?
But overall, they would have gone into that wanting a highlight reel knockout, wanting a win, wanting momentum, right? So he's ticked all of those boxes. They would have also wanted him to probably do it sooner. Yeah. I think they've all admitted that. And look, he's got his guy out of there, but we saw 6 rounds that preceded the knockout, and we saw 6 rounds of Anthony Joshua trying to work out Robert Helenius. And the drawback of choosing Robert Helenius as your opponent is that Deontay Wilder knocked him out in 1 round. And didn't take his time to figure him out. He just banged him out towards the end of the first round, and that's probably why people started booing in the 3rd round, saying like, why are we here? Like, I know, like, it's about, you know, AJ had 6 days to prepare for Helenius. Helenius had a fight last week. He didn't have long to prepare for AJ either. So I don't know. They would have certainly wanted him to do the job quicker, but job done. So fair play. He's done it. I think Duapis and did it around quicker, Joanne Duapis, but yeah, Joshua got him out of there as well.
Knowledge from Dev Sahni there, just getting it in. But the whole fight week, it could have been revolved around a lot of things. It could have been revolved around what you said about the 6 days notice of Anthony Joshua. It could have even been about Dillian Whyte fouling or adverse finding in his tests. But the biggest talking point of the week was Talk Sport. And Eddie Hearn, Simon Jordan, Frank's even got involved. What did you make of that scenario? And are we at a stage now where kind of a media platform's overshadowing an Anthony Joshua fight?
Yeah, I mean, look, it all added noise, though, right? I know they became a talking point, but I can't imagine that Eddie was like unhappy that it happened. I can't imagine TalkSport were unhappy that it happened. It all this sort of thing all adds to the noise. I think Eddie and Simon are going to become like friends or frenemies or something along those lines. I think they've probably got more in common than what they think, and will probably end up getting on quite well. And it's quite entertaining watching them go back and forth, and I hope to see plenty more of it.
Why do you think Eddie and Simon declined Frank to go on call with them?
I don't know. I mean, it would have been great radio, though, right? That would have helped the rating even more. So I guess, look, Eddie probably thought, no, this is my time, and if Frank goes on there, you know he's going to stick it right on you. So Frank would have stuck it right on Eddie on that show, and hey, maybe Eddie dodged one there.
I actually just spoke to Frank about this, and he said that he's just a liar. He was going to go and tell him that about all the porkies he's saying, and then I said to Eddie, would you be open to having a sit down, maybe around a table, him, Simon Jordan, Frank Warren? He said 100% he'd be up for that, but Frank Warren didn't seem to believe him there.
No, I don't know. I understand why Frank did ring up to try and get on, because Eddie started talking, saying stuff about Tyson Fury, talking about this Usyk fight, and no one's really going back to him. No one's really contesting that viewpoint. And if a view goes unchallenged like that, it can just go out there as truth. So I understand how Frank wanted to get on there. But yeah, no. What was the question? What was you saying?
I don't know. I was just putting it to you. I was just putting everything to you.
Like the little sit down. Yeah. I just hope I'm at an adjacent table so I can hear what's going on. That would be quite a sit down, wouldn't it?
Would you like to host that round table?
Now we're talking. I would love to host that, but I'd imagine I'm probably quite biased in a sit down between Frank and Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie said it was a loving between Simon and Frank. So if that was a loving, what's it going to be like for you and Frank?
I don't want to say, but I'd imagine people will have their say in the comments. But on the Simon and Frank interview, if you actually watch it, Simon is going in. You know, he's not holding back. He is going in there. He is really challenging Frank on some stuff. So for me, it wasn't a loving. I thought it was quite a savage interview at times.
We'll move on then, very briefly, to McCann Baluta. We are at the press conference tomorrow, so I'm sure we will go into it in much more detail then. But a really good test for Dennis McCann, which is kind of that crossroads fight that could elevate him to the top, bordering on world level.
Yeah, look, absolutely. This is a European-level hard man, Yarde Baluta, who upsets prospects, who upsets contenders, sometimes upsets champions or former champions. Dennis McCann has got it all to do, but if he's the guy that everyone thinks he is, then he will do it. But make no mistake, this is a leap up in levels for McCann. Best win of his career so far was Joe Ham. And perhaps Joe Ham was somewhat faded. I don't think Yarde Baluta is faded at all. This is a winning fighter coming off an upset win over Andrew Kane, in which he was down a couple of times as well, but still came back, still knocked down Andrew Kane, stuck it right on him and come away with the win. So this is it's a real test, and we'll find out a lot about Dennis McCann. I really rate him for taking the fight, and they've sparred before as well, and I think what's happened is Dennis McCann has taken plenty of confidence from those spars. And let's see. Very intriguing fight.
Dev, thank you very much for being to IFL TV. I'm sure we'll catch up with you once again in the week, and some more humorous comments from yourself.
I'm sure we will. I liked what you were wearing at the IFL Live the other day, by the way. I saw the little videos go out. You was fully kitted up. Someone said Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah, that was Maisie Rose who said Jeremy Kyle. I was actually taking a leaf out of your book because I heard that the TNT announcer is going to be wearing something very dapper on Friday night. I don't know who it is, but
this is it. I put it out there yesterday that there are rumours that there is a very handsome ring announcer being used on Friday night on TNT Sports. It hasn't really been confirmed yet who it is.
Well, they haven't been in touch with me, mate. So
no, they haven't texted me. I'm actually not nailed on for that, but let's see. Tune in Friday night, we'll find out.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate. Thank you.
You to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt wins. Right, the bouncer's guilt wins.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,